Right, Shalom. First, I want to start by giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash, Brakateh Yahweh, Brakateh Yahweh Shai, Brakateh Yahweh, Brakateh Yahweh Shai. Yahweh be the name of the Heavenly Father who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai be the name of his beloved Son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That's their true names in the Lashwan Kodash, the ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and blessings and salutations to the Lord's elect. I'm back with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And the title I'm going to give this lesson is A Dark Winter Can Be a Possibility. All right, a dark winter can be a possibility. You know, we're seeing the power outages over there in Cuba. You know, at one point the whole island was in dark. You know, and that's just a test run. You know, if you can remember some months back, maybe a month and a half ago, you had some telecommunications that went down. All right, Esau's always talking about cyber attacks, you know, so it's very well a possibility that it could be a grid shutdown in the near future, man. You know, and if you can remember, I believe it was 2020, it was either 2020 or 2021, Joe Biden spoke of a dark winter. Okay, and of course, you know, us that have a mind, you know, we're considering, you know, the grid going down, you know, which why not? You know, the Lord spoke of unprecedented times, so that goes right along with it. All right, and I want to just jump with let me jump into this article right here. All right, because it is a possibility. The Lord did say that he would plague Egypt as he did once before. Okay, so it is a possibility that the Lord could throw this place into the Stone Age. This is Psalms 105 and 28. It says, or 26, he sent Moses his servant, and Aaron whom he had chosen. They showed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham, all right, in the land of Egypt. He sent darkness and made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. All right, so he sent darkness and made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. So, you know, the Lord could send darkness once again. All right, now when we go to this article from modernsurvivalblog.com, the title of the article is Timeline of Events Following a Long-Term Grid Down Catastrophe. Okay, a long-term grid down catastrophe, which we know the Lord, he's shortening days for the elect's sake. So, you know, the Lord ain't gonna have us down and out for too long, you know. So the article says, or, you know, it says security experts agree an attack on the electrical grid is all but inevitable. Okay, it's all but inevitable, but few are prepared for what could happen or what would happen if the lights went out in America. So it says people may have basic emergency plans for a short-term power outage. Usually, these things are fixed fairly quickly thanks to electric utility company linemen working the affected region. However, what if the entire power grid went down here in America? A catastrophic long-term grid down, Salakia, a catastrophic long-term grid down. Surely that would never happen, right? Come on, man, no way. What if one of several potentially possible events actually brought the grid down all across the country? Without debating the aspects of causation, I would wonder what might be the cascading timeline of resulting events following a long-term grid down disaster. I would like to present an opinion about what might happen versus hours, days, weeks, etc. afterwards. It says most of those who are preparedness minded know and realize that they cannot count on government to save them in the thick of a major and overwhelming disaster such as the aforementioned hypothetical long-term grid down situation, right? A lot of people are going to be looking to the government, to Esau, Edom to save them, especially our people. so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you truly do trust in Egypt, which that's going to be to your detriment. All right, but the ones of us that believe in the Lord, we trust in Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, we're going to call upon the names of the Lord. I think it's 124. Here we go. It says Psalms 124:8. Our help is in the name of the Lord, right? The names of the Lord, strong tower, the righteous. The names of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run up into it and is safe. All right, our help is in the name of Yahweh by Shema Shai, who made heaven and earth. All right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to call upon our power, Yahweh by Shema Shai. When things get real bad, which we already do. This is a daily thing for us. Nahum 1:7. The Lord, Yahweh by Shema Shai, is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. All right, so while you sheeple are trusting in the government, like them people over there in the Carolinas that got hit, those sundown cities that got hit by them hurricanes, they looking to the government to aid them, and the government ain't doing jack for you. And those are Edomites. How much more you Jakes? All right, so it says, unfortunately, the vast majority of people presume that there is a plan, and that regardless of the disaster, their government will step in and provide for them. It will save them, so to speak. It will all get fixed, right? This is the mindset of you Babylonians. It says, in the terrifying event of a long-term grid down, this assumption will prove to be deadly, right? Because guess what? It will be your own government doing it to you. Whether they cut it off for a month, whether they cut it off for a couple of weeks, whatever it be, they're the ones doing it. All right, which automatically, if the power went out, that would immediately throw you people into chaos. Immediately there'll be mayhem, because you won't be able to use your phones. You won't be able to have running water. You're going to be considering your loved ones. A lot of people going to be stuck midday in traffic, away from their home. People going to be at their places of business. And then reality is going to set in, and it's going to get nasty. Them Cubans over there, they're used to a hard life. All right, they're used to a hard life. They're used to, hurricanes hitting them and, being uncomfortable. But you Babylonians, you Americans, man. All right, you are the most comfortable. Okay. So when you don't have your phones, when you don't have internet, when you don't have your social media, when you don't have, these comforts that you're so used to, then reality is going to set in, and you're going to be tortured within your mind. All right, you're going to be tortured within your mind. All right. So it says, let's look at a potential timeline of events when the lights go out in America. All right. It says immediate aftermath. The cities will be the hardest hit, right? Because they're the most populated, and they're the they're using these modern day technology, adding comforts to your life, man. These are the most comfortable people within the city. All right. It says the cities will be the hardest hit, thousands trapped in elevators, all electrical appliances shut down, refrigerators, heating, AC. Now, if it's extremely cold outside and you don't have no heating, man, that's tough, right? Refrigerators, so that's you got to consider food. You got to imagine the chaos the people running to the stores. It says ATM machines are inoperative, right? That would be non-existent anymore. There would be no banks to go to, just like they show you on the movie I Am Legend, right? They show you all them $100 bills on the floor, man. You know, what can I do for you when the system is not up? You know, it says banks and other businesses shut down. Gas stations without generators cannot pump fuel. For most, profound darkness. All right. And what are you women gonna do? You know, what are you women gonna do? You're gonna be terrified. A lot of people gonna, you know, not even make it past the first couple days. You know, imagine the people in hospitals. Imagine the people that need medication. Imagine the aged people. Imagine all the babies, the toddlers, the kids. You know, it's about to be a world of hurt. So it says day one. Some people are beginning to realize that this is very widespread and could become a long-term grid down situation. Just like they showed you on the movie, what's the name of that movie? It's escaping my mind, but they show you on different movies, different shows, these scenarios, man. You know, it's escaping me though. It says water faucets begin to run dry in some areas without utility generators. And of course, this is all PG because it's going to be 1,000 times worse when it actually happens. It says toilets will no longer flush without water pressure. Law enforcement and responders overwhelmed by emergencies. There will be none of that. There'll be none of that. Because just like they show you on World War Z, you know, this guy just committed a murder or, you know, self-defense, you know, shooting the dude in the store. Here there's a cop comes, he puts his hands up thinking that he's about to get arrested. The cop's not even worried about him. Cops running to the baby food because he has a family to feed. Okay, so that it's gonna get real. You know, ain't gonna be no law enforcement, none of that. You know, they only gonna be able to do so much before it explodes. And then Esau, of course, he gonna do his thing with martial law and all that. It says law enforcement and responders overwhelmed by emergencies, outbreaks of looting in the usual places. Come on now. Grocery stores being the hardest hit. It says batteries on laptops, cell phones, and flashing lights are dying. And if it's an EMP, then you ain't even gonna be able to access your phone. You ain't gonna be able to drive, none of that. Planes falling out the sky. I wish I could remember that movie, man, where they showed that. Damn, it's a Netflix movie. Came out last year. It says those with generators are using up their fuel. Massive gridlock in the city region. Some vehicles run out of gas and are abandoned. Conflicting descriptions of power outage. Unknown expected duration, but looking more like long-term. Officials disagree regarding recommended actions. Right? It's going to be all out chaos. It ain't gonna take much, especially amongst Jake, it ain't gonna take much. Let's look up this word catastrophe, right? When you go to catastrophic, it comes from catastrophe, which means reversal of what is expected, right? What is expected? Everyday life, you know, everyday life, you know? Let me see, you know, another day is expected, but it's going to hit at random. 1 Thessalonians 5:1, as you can see the subheading, the day of the Lord. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. It's going to come when you least expect it. You know, the people that's not watching, that's not aware of the times. You're going to be caught with your pants down. You're going to be caught off guard, right? The element of surprise. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right, so it's going to be sudden destruction. You know, that's going to come. All right, like an earthquake. There's no real, alert, letting you know an earthquake is going to hit. It just boom. Okay, so that's how these events are going to hit. It says reversal of what is expected. especially a fatal turning point in a drama, right? This is a fatal turning point in the Most High's movie. Because that event alone will produce mass death. Because it's going to be the Lord. He's going to be, man, the spirit of wrath is going to be out here, man. You know, that's from the government. That's from, you know, if this place gets invaded, that's from the civilians. You know, the Lord causing sedition among men, insurrections. The love of many waxing cold. People are already on the edge. People already feel it's the end of the world, you know? It says, especially a fatal turning point in the drama, the winding up of the plot. Yeah, the plot is definitely going to thicken. It says an overturning, a sudden end, right? It's going to be suddenly. To overturn, turn down, trample on, to come to an end. All right, and this is all, look at that, the extension to sudden disaster. This is all events leading up to the destruction, the end of America. Okay, so let's go back. So day 1, I already read that. Day 3, gas stations run out of fuel. All right, those that could pump. Water is at premium. Some emergency generators assist in pumping water and sewage. Many unprepared are running out of food already. And like I said, this is rated PG, man. Reality, people ain't gonna have food first day. Majority are beginning to panic as reality sets in, and this of this being a widespread long-term grid down event. Drugstores and grocery stores being stripped. In some regions, the oh shit moment of terrifying realization, right? And within a lot of people's minds, they're going to realize that the things the Lord had to speak in, starting with the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, all right, then they're going to know that a prophet have been in the midst of them, or amongst them, however the scripture says it, you know, paraphrasing. You know, that's going to be that oh shit moment. Like, dang, everything that they were speaking was true. You know, whether you're a cousin of a prophet, you're a family member of a prophet, you were a best friend of a prophet before he came into the truth, whatever it is, you was told that message. You was given that warning. Then you're going to have that oh shit moment. Damn, this is real, right? And then terror is really going to unleash it within your mind. All right, because you know that you've been warned. You know that you're wicked. I'm just going to kind of run through this. It says, end of a week, long-term grid down. Any government emergency rations are depleted. Hospital generator systems are running out of fuel. Renewed fuel delivery isn't looking good. Some of the elderly and infirm are dying. Of course, that's going to happen. Hospitals overwhelmed and are struggling to perform emergency services. See, like I said, they're acting as if they're going to have, you know, the ability to do so. Nah, man, it's going to be chaos. It says martial law is declared by the government, though most don't get the message, right? Military attempts to maintain a veneer of order, but not enough personnel. Looting has become rampant. Desperate people join in. All right, looting has become rampant. Desperate people join in. Millions upon millions are on their own. But guess who's not going to be on their own? The servants of Yahweh Shema Shai. The Lord said, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for I am your guide, and the guide of them that keep my commandments and precepts. Paraphrasing, 2 Esdras 16th chapter. All right? This is all biblical, man. All right? 2 Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right? For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? They're not armed over there in Cuba like you Americans, man. You know? It's going to get real, man, and it's going to get bloody. It's going to be loud. It's going to be scary. You know? That's what's coming. You know, murder. It's going to be mass murder out here. You know, people going to be out here with machetes, all type of tools. Weapons. Blades. People going to get real sketchy and creative, you know, and there ain't going to be nobody to clean up the dead bodies neither. You're going to have animals. The Lord going to have animals out here in these cities. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. People going house to house, taking up everyone's goods. It's going to be chaos, no order. Like they mentioned here, they're going to try to have order, right? It says martial law is declared by the government, though most don't get the message, meaning people are not abiding by it. Military attempts to maintain a veneer of order, but not enough personnel. It's going to get wild. For there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're going to be doing whatever the hell they want to do. It's going to be lawlessness, man. And a lot of people are going to be dying during this time. All right? The time of Jacob's trouble. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right? If men are afraid, what are you women going to be looking like? You're not going to be able to wear your makeup, do your hair, your nails. You're going to still have your menstruals. What are you going to do about that? You're not going to have the right products to keep yourself clean. Ain't going to be no running water. A lot of people are going to starve. It says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. All right? That means ain't nobody going to care that you're a beautiful woman. No one cares. No one's going to care about a child or old person. It's going to be survival of the fittest, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, the gun, and spoil their goods. They're going to take what you have because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that they could take your jacket, they could take your shoes, they could take, whatever you have, man, whatever they need. And the Lord is going to allow it, man. So let me run through this. It says, end of week 2, long-term grid down. It says people have become deeply frightened and fear for their lives, knowing that this is going to be a long-term grid down catastrophe. Most are now entirely running out of food to eat. Many are dying in regions without access to water and the inability to get somewhere else. Many are dying in regions, climates where there is no heat. If during winter, dark winter, disease sets in, typhoid fever, cholera from eating tainted food, water, poor sanitation, right? It's going to breed disease, man. All right, and you really could put all this in 1 week. 1-2 weeks. It says the end of the first month. All right, because Esau Edom, he has his plans. He gonna implement that mark. Okay, he gonna try to bring his new NWO. It says many drug dependent patients are dying or dead. The millions with severe psychotic disorders, no more meds, create bedlam. It says people in communities fighting over resources, like we just read. Home invasions and violence related die-offs, like we just read, 2 Esdras 15. Escaped prisoners, organized gangs, more violence related die-off. Communities are slowly starving. All this is going to happen, man, quickly, man. They don't even need a month for that. Now it says the end of the first year, which we know the Lord ain't going to, allow it to go that long. It says 90% are dead. See, the Lord said, no flesh will be saved, right? I already know where it's at, Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be a great tribulation, right? This is what we're talking about. All right, this is what we're talking about, the end, man. We're talking about economic collapse. We're talking about, society breaking down, man. Famine, starvation, no water to drink, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. It'll never be a time like this, because after this, it's going to be complete bliss for the Israelites. And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Right? The Lord is going to shorten the days, man. He's going to come back. Yahweh Shai is going to come back. That's what all these people don't realize. Ain't no Jesus coming back. It's Yahweh Shai. It says the timeline of events following a long-term grid down will vary based on population density, cities, suburbia, rural, season, and geographical circumstances. Which it don't matter where you at, all right? If you're on the soils of America, you through regardless if you ain't of the elect. You through regardless if you ain't of the elect. It don't matter if you got a goddamn underground base, none of that. It don't matter. You're doomed. However, it's an interesting mental exercise to come up with a best guess. The process may help motivate more preparedness. What's your input? Would you add to the above or shift things around a bit? Right? So this is just out of his mind. What would happen if the grid went down? Lights out situation. Which we know chaos will ensue. Okay? And it's very likely, man. And this could be the winter that Joe Biden was talking about. All right? We in the time of the elections, and, who knows what the rest of the year is going to look like, man. Only Yahweh Basham Shai knows, truly. So Lord's will is edifying. A dark winter could be a possibility. Giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh Basham Shai, Basham Kakodash. Till next time, Shalom.